All right, biology students, here we have three solutions that you might find in lab. We have a salt solution, a glucose solution, and a starch solution. And we also have ways to measure how much salt, glucose, and starch are diffusing through a membrane. So we'll start with salt. You use the Vernier conductivity probe, which I have stored in a beaker of deionized water, so it has a very low conductivity reading. And then when I place it in the salt, you'll notice on the screen behind me the conductivity rating skyrockets. So this does a good job of measuring the number of ions in solution, and salt ionizes when it dissolves. However, glucose, on the other hand, it really doesn't. So you'll notice its conductivity reading is really low, and it's probably just due to ions in the tap water we use to make this solution. So it has a really low conductivity reading. So it's non-conductive. So if you're doing stuff with salt, you can use the conductivity probe to take measurements for that. For glucose, however, if you want to know about glucose, you can use glucose test strips, which they start off blue, and when you dunk them into the glucose, they change color. And so here I have dipped one into glucose, and you can see that it's a brown color. And that would indicate, I can match it up to the color here to indicate the amount of glucose I have in solution. So this will give me an approximate amount of glucose that diffuses through that I would have in solution. Lastly, we have starch, and to determine if starch has diffused, we're just going to use iodine. Iodine will stain starch, and we can't really tell the amount of starch that's diffused, just simply a relative concentration of whether or not it has diffused or not diffused. And you can see how it turns dark blue, almost purple or black with the presence of iodine. So if you want to know if starch diffused, you can look for the presence of black spots in your solution after adding iodine. So these are the different ways that you can measure the rates of diffusion and determine if molecules are diffusing through the membranes.